Hello everybody, it's TechTipsta here, and today we're going to look at Mame emulation on RetroPie. Now a lot of you have been asking for this. You've had a little bit of trouble with setting up your Final Burn Alpha or Mame, so I'm going to quickly run you through how to get it running and probably point out where you're having the issue. So we'll first start off by going to the ROMs folder. So sorry, just before I start, I've got WinSCP and Putty here. I've connected to my Pi. I've got a setup video on how to do that, but you should all be pretty comfortable with this now, so I won't go into that. But anyway, I'm in the root of my Pi here on WinSCP, so I'm just going to navigate to my ROMs folder, and that's in Home, Pi, RetroPie, ROMs. And now let's have a look at what we have for Mame. So we've got Mame, Advanced Mame, we've got some artwork folders and samples folders. Now what I actually use is the Mame folder, and that is the Mame for All emulator. And that I find runs the best on the Raspberry Pi 2. So I recommend that's what you use for Mame. And for NeoGeo / Final Burn Alpha, I actually use FBA. Not FBA libretro, but FBA here. And you can see I've got a few files in here. I've got Metal Slug in there, and that works really well. Shock Troopers, Street Fighter Alpha 3? No, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. There's Street Fighter Alpha 3. So the FBA folder is what you want to use for NeoGeo, and the Mame folder is what you want to use for general Mame. So jumping in there again, neogeo.zip, I've got that in both of them. Now that's important because that's our BIOS file, and you want to include that in your ROMs folder. So make sure, and I'm going to talk about this later, the ROMs, whenever you do get your ROMs, include a BIOS file in those folders. So that will get you started on which emulator to use, so FBA and Mame. Now let's have a look at the config files. So we'll start with the Final Burn Alpha config, and it's actually in a bit of a different spot. So we'll go back to the root and we'll go to opt RetroPie emulators, and then Pi FBA. So this is our folder for the Final Burn Alpha emulator, and here is our configuration file, and this is where we set up all our keys for our gamepads. So I'll just double click that now so you can see, and I believe you can edit it from here. I don't think there's any file permissions. Let me just have a look. Yep, so you can open that in WinSCP and you can edit it right from this editor. So at the top, we've got our keyboard codes. They're all great, but the ones you're interested in are joystick, and it's pretty simple. I might actually post this config file in the description, but I've got mine set up for DualShock 3 controllers. So you've got A, B, X, Y, L, R, and start select. There's only 6 button keys for Final Burn Alpha, and then the start and select. You can see here we've got A_1, A_2 for player 2, and these button codes are as simple as running a JS test for your controller and filling it in. So I'll just show you now. If you don't know how to do that, JS test dev input, oops, JS0. Well, that's messy. Anyway, these are my keys here, and I've got my DualShock 3. That's why it's a bit crazy, but I'm pushing X and we can see that's button 14, so that's my main key there anyway. So that's as simple as that. You put your button numbers in, don't need any fancy formatting, just copy what I've done here. It's a very short config file as well. It's only that one page there. Let me just get out of that. Whoops. Got some game going in the background. Okay, so that's how you edit your controls for Final Burn Alpha. Now the Mame for All controls are all done from within the emulator, so I'll do that now. I'll show you quickly. Here it is. That's Final Burn Alpha, but we'll go back out and we'll go to Mame. There we go. And let's have a look at NBA Jam. So when you select a game, it's going to load up, and then you want to have your keyboard connected for this to start with, and push tab on your keyboard, And then we get a input menu. Now up and down goes through this menu. To go forward through the menu, I push enter, and to go back is escape. So what you want to do to get your keys is go to input general, and you want to go down to UI. Up and down is the menu control. So I've actually set mine up for keyboard and joypad. When you're doing this the first time, what I like to do is push enter, which is select, and then just push escape, and that will clear the keys. And then what I'll do is I'll set them up for my gamepad and my keyboard. So I'll push enter again, and now I'm pushing up on my keyboard, and that's set it to up. And now I'm going to push enter again, and then I'm going to push up on my gamepad. So watch this. Whoops. I actually pushed two buttons on my keypad, sorry, on my gamepad. But what that will do is set it up for multiple inputs, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I'll just clear that again and I'll show you. So I'm going to push enter and then up on my keyboard. So that's pushing up, is going up in the menu. And then I'm going to push enter again, and I'm pushing up on my gamepad. There we go. So now that didn't work again. It's a bit clunky. So you actually have to keep trying until you get it right. So enter, up on the keyboard. There we go. So now it's set up for joypad 1 up on the D-pad or up on the keyboard to go through the menu. So set that all up so you can navigate the menus with your controller. And also, I've set up to bring up my config menu using, I believe that's R3. So I can bring the config menu up with my control or with the tab key on the keyboard. So we'll go down again. Keep in mind that UI up, down, left, right will only set up the keys for the overlay menu. If you want to set up your player 1 and 2 control keys, this is where they start. So I've got player 1, start is J1, button 3, which is just my start key on the DualShock 3. Coin 1 is button 9, which I believe is select, but you can configure that to whatever you want. And here we go. Player 1, up, down, left, right. You can set that to your D-pad or your joystick on your gamepad. And then button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've only configured it up to button 8. I don't know any games that need more than 8 keys. But if you want, and if you do have more keys, you can configure all the way up to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So anyway, do that for player 1. I've got all this strange stuff here. I've never used it, but if you find a game that needs these extra inputs, you can do that. And then do your player 2. It's as simple as that. Hit enter, configure your keys. There's no need to save this config, it auto saves automatically. So as soon as you're finished, I'm just going to push exit, or I've set up my gamepad to get out of this menu. And you can either go down return to game or just push escape again. And there we go, our keys are set up. It's as simple as that. So now I'm just going to get out of this, which will be, there we go. And now I'm going to jump back to WinSCP and PuTTY. And let's talk about ROMs. Now, this is probably where a lot of you are getting stuck. The emulators that come with RetroPie are built for a specific MAME ROM set. Now, if you'd have no idea what I'm talking about, just understand that there are a lot of different versions of MAME ROMs, and only one version of those MAME ROMs works with this emulator. What I've done is actually scoured the internet for a working ROM set for each emulator, and I've put them in a link to the description. So I suggest you go and download those ROM sets, and they're the complete ROM sets. Pretty much every game in there should work, and I'm pretty sure all the games that are available are there. Have a look through them. I'll also put up 2 links to the contents of those archives, which will show you if the game is there or not. You can search through those links and see if the game is there. But, whoops. Just bring up the ROMs folder for a second. But yeah, what you want to do is get the correct version. And for Final Burn Alpha, I'm not sure what that version is, but for MAME, I know you're looking for a 0.37b5 version, which is a pretty old version of ROM. So you might not find that anywhere, but look in the description, and I've found a link there which will give you access to all those ROMs. Download them, extract them, and then copy the games that you need, making sure to put your BIOS file in each game folder. Another thing I've seen people asking is CPS3 games, so Street Fighter 3. Now I have seen one guy who says he's gotten it working without sound. I've never seen it myself, so no Capcom CPS3, Capcom System 3. Anyway, whatever that means, there's no CPS3 games available. So have a look at what's available. Don't get your expectations too high. There's a lot of games, but not everything is available for the Pi at the moment. So I hope this did help you out. Sorry, it's a pretty rough video. I thought I'd just make it quickly because there have been a few people asking for it. I think it will get you started. If you do have any issues, just leave me a comment again. But hopefully now that you know which ROMs to use, you know which BIOS to copy into your ROMs folder, and you know the complete ROM sets or the complete list of games that work with these emulators, you shouldn't have too many troubles. So thanks guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you went. Let me know if this did solve your issues. And if not, leave me a comment. We'll try and work through them. Thanks again. See you guys.